After spending 9 hours at the ER helping a stranger who got in a car crash right in front of me, I came home expecting a hug. Instead, I found my husband on the balcony, smoking, and said, "Rough night?" He just laughed and said, "You always make time for everyone but me." Then I noticed 2 wine glasses on the table and my sister's sweater on the couch. I didn't say a word. But 3 weeks later, they walked into a surprise dinner I hosted. And everyone they loved was already there, watching the video. I'm a nurse, so nights don't always end when the shift does. I've done 16-hour shifts before. I've sat with patients whose families never showed up. I've cleaned blood off walls and vomit off shoes. Nothing shocks me anymore. But that night wrecked something in me I didn't know could break. It was a Thursday, just after 10 p.m. I'd finally clocked out from the urgent care center near downtown Savannah. I was driving home on Abercorn Street when a red Civic fishtailed right in front of me and smashed head-on into a pole. Hard. The front end crumpled like foil. I didn't think. I pulled over, threw on my hazards, and ran. Inside was a kid. Couldn't have been older than 20. He was bleeding from the head, shaking, barely breathing right. I called 911 while holding pressure on his head with the emergency towels from my trunk. His name was Jordan. He was crying. Scared. All I kept saying was, "You're gonna be okay. Just hang in there." I rode with him to the ER. Stayed while they stitched him up. When he panicked, I calmed him. When his phone died, I gave him mine to call his parents. When the nurse asked if I was family, I just said, "Not yet." I didn't leave until almost 6:30 a.m. 9 hours. No sleep. No food. Not even a text to my husband because my phone had died sometime around 2 a.m. I figured he'd worry. He didn't. When I got home, our place was too quiet. The balcony door was cracked open. The first thing I saw was Ross, my husband, shirtless, smoking a cigarette like he was in some goddamn movie. He turned his head when he saw me and said, with a little smirk, "Rough night?" That was it. No, where were you? No, are you okay? Just that smug line. I stood there, soaked from the rain and hospital sweat. I said, "Yeah, a kid crashed his car. I stayed with him at the ER all night." He just shrugged, took another drag and muttered, "You always make time for everyone but me." Then I saw them. 2 wine glasses on the little table next to him. One had lipstick, not mine, and on the couch just inside, casually draped like a scarf, a gray sweater I recognized right away. I'd given it to my sister Melanie last Christmas. I walked in slowly, looked at the sweater, then at the wine. I didn't say anything. My hands were shaking, but I kept them at my sides. He followed me in, not a care in the world. I just said, "I need to shower." And he let me. That's when I knew it was real. They weren't afraid. They weren't even hiding it. They thought I wouldn't fight, wouldn't react. That was their first mistake. I didn't sleep that day. I laid in bed next to him after my shower, my back to him, eyes wide open. My mind didn't stop. Melanie, my younger sister, the one I helped raise when our dad left. The one I drove to school for 2 years straight because she was scared of buses. The one who cried on my wedding day, saying Ross was perfect for me. I replayed it all in my head. Her being distant lately, canceling plans, showing up late, borrowing makeup, saying she had a date, laughing too hard at Ross's dumb jokes at family dinners. I ignored every sign. I acted normal for the next 3 weeks. That was the hardest part. Playing stupid. But I needed time. I bought a motion-activated camera off Amazon and stuck it behind a planter on the balcony. I deleted the app icon off my phone and kept the notifications silent. Every night while Ross slept, I checked the footage. And I saw it. Again and again. Her showing up in leggings and that damn sweater. Them drinking, kissing, laughing, touching. He never looked like that with me. I didn't cry. I think I wanted to, but I just couldn't. I felt hollow. Then I started my plan. I told Ross I wanted to throw a surprise dinner for Mom's 60th birthday. He lit up at the idea, said it was thoughtful, offered to help. I told Melanie too.
She was weird about it.
Nervous, but she said yes. I rented out a nice space at a boutique hotel.
Just 40 people.
All family, all close friends. My cousin Haley flew in from Denver. Uncle Mike drove from Tallahassee. Then I called Melanie's boss. Told her I needed a favor. She owed me one. Told her it was about something serious. She agreed to come. Ross's manager? Same thing. I invited him under the pretense of thanking Ross for being a supportive husband. I spent 3 nights editing footage. Just enough to tell the story. No nudity. No audio. Just visuals. Ross lighting candles. Melanie arriving with wine. Their hands. Their lips. Her sweater falling to the couch. I titled the file, Things You Miss When You Work Late. The morning of the dinner, I looked at Ross while we were brushing our teeth. He kissed my cheek and said, "You're amazing, you know that?" I smiled back. I know. I wore red that night. A color. Melanie said, "Wash me out." 7 p.m. Everyone was seated. I stood up and said we'd be starting with a little family memory video for Mom. The lights went down. The projector lit up. Then came the silence.
Thick.
Frozen. Halfway through the video, my aunt gasped. My cousin said, "Oh my God." My mom's wine glass slipped from her hand and hit the floor. When the video ended, I stepped to the mic. And I looked right at them. Melanie and Ross, standing by the entrance. Everyone turned. Faces pale. Eyes locked on them. "Surprise," I said. "You made it just in time." Ross didn't move. Melanie's hand flew to her mouth like she might throw up. No one clapped. No one laughed. The air felt thick. Even the background music I'd queued up had cut off halfway through the video. Just silence and stares. Then Mom stood up. Her voice cracked. Is this real?" I didn't say anything. I didn't have to. Ross stepped forward, his voice low, like he still thought he could fix it. "We need to talk. In private." I laughed. For the first time in weeks, I really laughed. "You've had private. Now it's public." Melanie turned to leave. I saw her heels wobble, but Dad stepped in front of her at the door. "Where you going, sweetheart?" She looked like she wanted to disappear. Ross just kept looking at me, like I had betrayed him. Then his mom stood up. She was crying. "You bring shame on this family," she said to Ross. "On her birthday, no less." "She's not even your blood," Melanie finally snapped. "Why is everyone acting like this is the end of the world?" That was the twist no one saw coming. My stomach dropped. "What?" Melanie's eyes widened, realizing what she said. "What do you mean? Not even your blood?" She clammed up. Ross took a step back. Then Mom sat down like her knees gave out. Dad muttered, "God damn it, Carol." Carol. My mom. She didn't look at me. She just kept staring at her hands. "Mom," I asked, "what is she talking about?" And that's when the room turned from betrayal to disaster. My mom whispered, barely audible, "You were adopted. We never told you. It wasn't supposed to matter." It hit me like a truck. My sister, my mom, my husband, every part of my life cracked open at once. Melanie stepped back like she was proud of herself, like she wanted to hurt me deeper. Ross finally spoke again. "Look, we never meant for it to happen, but we're in love." There it was. He actually said it. I looked around the room, faces stunned, some shaking their heads, others in tears. I took a deep breath and said into the mic, "Okay, so let's talk about what love looks like." I stood at the mic and looked at every face in that room. No one dared breathe. "So let's talk about what love looks like," I said again. Love is 9 hours in an ER holding a stranger's hand. Love is keeping secrets that aren't yours to keep, just to protect people who wouldn't do the same for you. I looked at Melanie. Love isn't sleeping with your sister's husband. That's just trash and pretty lipstick. She flinched. Good. Then I turned to Ross. And love, real love, Doesn't laugh when someone walks in from saving a life. It doesn't complain that I give too much to other people. It's not scared of my strength. He opened his mouth. I cut him off. Save it. I gave you everything. I paid your half of the bills when you got laid off. I picked you up when your dad died. I didn't ask for much, just respect.
He looked small now.
Just a man with nothing left to say. Then I faced the room again. There's one more thing. I clicked the remote. A final clip played. It was footage from just 2 days ago.
Ross.
On the phone. Standing on the balcony. Saying, she's busy again tonight. I'll sneak you in through the back. Melanie's voice replied. Don't forget to delete the camera stuff. They didn't know I set up audio the second week. They didn't know I saved everything on a cloud account titled Divorce Files. I looked at my cousin Haley, who is a lawyer. She nodded. I've filed for divorce. Today, I said. He gets nothing. Gasps again. Ross took a step toward me, voice rising. Wait, this is crazy. We can talk. No, I snapped. You don't talk anymore. You listen. Then I turned to Melanie. You're dead to me. You're not my sister. You're not family. You're just a stain I'm scrubbing off. Melanie tried to run again. My mom finally stood and blocked her. Sit down, Mom said. You've done enough. And then Mom looked at me, tears in her eyes. I should have told you about the adoption. I thought it would protect you. I looked at her. My voice shook. It didn't. She nodded. I know. And then she did the one thing I never expected. She pulled off her wedding ring and placed it on the table. I'm leaving him too, she said quietly. Secrets ruin everything. Dad turned away, his jaw clenched. I didn't say anything more. I walked out, into the cool Savannah night, alone. But I didn't feel alone. I felt free. And that was the last time I ever saw Ross or Melanie. 3 weeks later, I moved into a small house on Tybee Island. Quiet.
Just me and peace.
The last twist? Jordan, the kid from the crash, he sent me a thank you card a month later. Said I saved his life. Said he wanted to be a nurse now, too. Funny how the stranger I helped in the rain turned out to be more human than the people I loved most. That's life, I guess. Some people break you. Others show you how to heal. And me? I walked through hell. But I didn't come back empty-handed. I came back with fire.